Hey, I'm Lonnie, and this is newcomer Hank. And he has been kind enough to join us and talk about the new and upcoming comic books. This is going to be kind of an addendum to our show, Comic Book Malarkey, that I do with Mark. And we basically cover like old stories and stuff on that. So, I'm going to go over the current books that just came out, and we just came off of like Free Comic Book Day. And what books did you pick up?
I got Rick and Morty, Exo-Man of War, something from Drawn Quarterly called Hostage.
I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, besides I haven't had the chance to read any of these.
Yeah, it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I read Secret Empire, and you said
Yeah.
you picked that one up.
I picked that one up, but it's like I just haven't had time. I've just been doing stuff around here, work.
Life.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. God, I've still got books from like 2 weeks ago I hadn't read, which I guess is a good problem to have.
Oh yeah.
Now, we're going to offer spoilers for the comics released 6th, 5th, 4th, the 3rd, May 3rd. And so, like, kind of, sort of, because I don't want to, like, spoil anything too hard. But the button, and like, I want to talk about that, the DC book. Now, I've not read Flashpoint, and from what I understand, that's where really most of this started.
Oh yeah.
Flash goes back in time to stop his mother from getting killed, and then it creates like a whole alternate universe where it was like really the big thing is Aquaman and Wonder Woman, their forces are fighting each other, and the world is gone to crap basically. And like the interesting part that kind of carries over to this story is Bruce Wayne dies instead of his parents, and so his dad becomes Batman and his mother becomes the Joker.
Yep.
And I've not actually read. I've seen the movie, the animated movie they put out, and I thought that was kind of cool.
Yep.
But I've not actually read the story, and I know the actual printed story goes far more detailed and in depth.
It is.
Yeah, and I'm dying to read it, and probably gonna have to get to it eventually. It's just kind of hard to find unless I get it on Amazon. I'm trying to get it here though. But yeah, a lot of the books, like I think it was like a 6-issue series. I think. You recall right offhand?
Not offhand. I do have my own copy.
The trade.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it seems like something I really want to read. And was the button? Did it make an appearance in Flashpoint?
Not in the least.
Okay, so this happened like later on, because after Flashpoint, we had the entire New 52 series.
Yep.
And then we had like Futures End, we had Convergence.
Never
and
touched that one.
I read some of that. Futures End was pretty neat, and then I never really read any of Convergence. And then we ended up like in the Rebirth story, and we're at number 22 is the ones that just released. And it started, this story, part 1 was Batman number 21, part 2 was The Flash number 21, and then we just had part 3 released last week, Batman number 22. And this whole thing, spoilers leading up, Flash, or Batman, I really wish, have you read the stuff leading up to it?
Like the Batman series and the Flash series.
Well, just where the button came from or when it first appeared.
I've read Flashpoint, I've read Watchmen, and I have read the Rebirth where the button just appears.
Okay, so it just pops up out of nowhere.
Literally,
What, like in the Batcave?
Can
Because I know Batman ends up with it.
Yeah. Can I give spoilers for the Rebirth one shot that came
Sure.
out?
Yeah.
There's a bolt of lightning when Wally West appears in the Batcave, and as he disappears, the lightning shoots the button basically into solid rock in the Batcave. And that's really been one of the biggest mysteries so far, which it just appears in that.
And so everybody knows
Well,
technically where it came from. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, like we do because we've read Watchmen.
Yeah.
Or I've not read Watchmen. I've
Ooh.
watched the movie and read part of it here and there. But so of course it belonged to the comedian who was killed. Now I've heard rumors going around that there was some lost time at one point, and some people are saying Dr. Manhattan was behind it.
Yep.
The easy money, because in part two, or really part one, and then it's kind of explained in part two and everything. Reverse Flash appears and he takes off like into time and is killed. Well, then in part three, they catch back up to him and they notice that it's him going through time, but before he died. And they say, "Oh, you know, come back, you're gonna die." And he's like, "No, I know who the button belongs to, and he's never faced anybody like me." I think, personally, it's Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
We'll probably end up seeing Dr. Manhattan. Any differing thoughts on that?
Me personally, I would say I'm fine with it being Manhattan. I gotta rewatch them, but I think if Manhattan took the 10 years from the timeline, that would make a lot of sense for why everything was so complicated in the New 52.
Yeah, I didn't really read a lot of New 52 besides Death of the Family and Court of Eye, like the first few Batman things, and I read a little bit of Endgame, but yeah, I mean, New 52, from what I hear, that was like a confused mess anyway.
Yeah, I've really, for most of my life, been thrown in and out of comic books, because
Same here. Yeah, same thing. Like I'd read them for 2 or 3 years at a time, get out, 2 or 3 years at a time, get out again.
it's also just because the store that we're filming in did not exist until about maybe 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, roundabout.
And the nearest comic book store was about, Jesus, like,
It's a little ways.
yeah, like 5-10 miles away, and I didn't have a car of my own. I didn't.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm not gonna force my parents to go out there. So it's just like,
I know the struggle.
Yeah. So it's just like, I would get my trades, or if it was just like a random issue, I would see at Books a Million or
Yeah.
Barnes and Noble. I would pick it up, especially one shots. Those were just, they would always have like a one shot there for some reason.
Have you read? This story's gonna be pretty cool. I think part 4 is not coming out this coming week. I think we're gonna have to wait until the 17th. And I don't really want to go into the books coming out on the 17th yet. But kind of going into what is coming out over the next week, this coming Wednesday, we're gonna have. Well, we've already said Midnight's coming out.
Yes,
and
Alex Ogle.
Yeah, that's giving a shout out to like local Alex Ogle. He did. We did an interview with him last week, and that's going to be a pretty cool series. I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and open up my signed copies that he gave me, at Conduit.
Yeah.
And because like I was so iffy about opening those that are signed, and then I was like, you know what, I'm probably never going to get these graded.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to have to read them. So I'm going to sit down probably this week and read them because I want to be fully caught up when next week happens. And you said you've read number 1.
I have the trade. I haven't had. Life just gets in the way. I cannot read it at all. Well, I haven't had time to read it, I should say.
Yeah.
But I do know Alex because in Chattanooga we have a thing called the Comics Co-op.
Yeah.
Me and him are both members in it. He's had a little shameless plug in here. He's done a story in, I think, maybe 1 or 2 of the anthologies that we have out.
Yeah, I've seen because they have they have
they're-
them for sale here actually.
Yep. $10, by the way.
Yep.
And every time I see it, I just love it to death.
Oh, I'm a real big fan of his
Yeah.
art. Let's see. We got Midnight, and I'm really big on that. And I don't think there's not a variant cover to number 1. I think I covered that with him last week. Then on the DC Comics side, Action Comics 979. Holy, they're actually getting close to 1,000.
Yep.
Like within the next year and a half, 2 years,
Oh, yeah.
we're gonna hit, unless they Are they only putting Action Comics out every month, or is it every 2 weeks now?
That Superman, Batman, and Detective Comics, they're the twice a month. Where it's like
Okay.
one week you get Superman and Batman, the next week you get Detective and Action.
Because I noticed that Batman 21 came out, and it hadn't been out long, and then Batman 22 came out.
Yep.
So I'm gonna have to check that out. Let's see. There's a bunch of these books that I'm not like really familiar with. Let's see. A bunch of these are like signed editions and special stuff of things that have already come out.
Yep.
The new Suicide Squad's coming out. Have you kept up with that any?
Not a fan of Suicide Squad. I did see the movie, and I only have the War Crimes one shot that they did,
Mhm.
which I like that. And I have the Justice League versus Suicide, but only one part of it, just because. Yeah.
I've not actually read Suicide Squad ever, so
Yeah.
I can't really give an informed decision on that.
Same here.
The new Wonder Woman came out, and they did have a Wonder Woman issue for Free Comic Book Day.
That was part one of her year one story. That I do know.
Okay,
Yep.
so I didn't even know that. Let's see, Midnight. Image, I know we just got our email today where, Image Comics is, sent us their previews. And so I didn't really pay attention because I haven't had time to sit down and read any of those.
Hmm.
Ghostbusters Funko Universe. Not 100% sure what that is.
I am not gonna read that.
That sounds almost like a bunch of Funko Pop vinyls running around. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Kinda.
But that's on the surface. That's what that sounds like. I know somebody's gonna tear me a new one for saying that if it's not right. Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Adventures number 6 of 6
Oh wow, it's
coming
already.
out. Let's see here. The new X-Files number 13 is coming out. And then, like I said, it's kind of a slow week.
Me personally, I don't really read IDW, not just because I like the Turtles, but I like
Yeah.
the trades more than I do the individual issues.
The only reason I don't do trades is because I can't stand waiting that long on a story. I gotta have it now.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like what me and my little brother do. It's just like if they have like a trade out where it's just like issue 1, like they have the first trade.
Yeah.
And it's just like this one thing that I really like that Marvel, where it's like they have their trades like out within a month after.
Oh yeah.
So it's just like, oh, I can go get this now and get caught up in like a week and a half.
Not only that, but let's say you miss a copy, or like a number 1 comes out, and you're like, I don't think I'm gonna give that a chance. Next thing you know, it's like the hottest book on the market,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're already at number 7, and number 1's gone up to like a $25 copy.
Oh yeah.
And the only way you're gonna read that and be able to really do it on a it still maintain your finances is to sit down and grab that $12 trade that's going to
Oh, yeah.
cost less than probably 50 to get the first 6 issues.
Oh yeah.
All New Wolverine is coming out,
Still gotta
number
read that
20.
one.
Amazing Spider-Man number 27. I'm not really sure what they're doing with Amazing Spider-Man right now. I know they're getting ready to release that Spectacular Spider-Man in like the next couple of
It's like a month.
yeah, because in the back of Secret Empire they released like a 5 or 6 page special.
Yeah.
Let's see, bunch of graphic novels. Kingpin number 4. Not 100% sure what's going on there.
Haven't been reading that one.
Old Man Logan still has his own series.
Yeah, I've read the original storyline. I gotta get all the trades because I love Jeff Lemire's writing.
Rocket number 1 actually has 5 different variant covers, 6 different variant covers. One of them's $3.99, and the rest is
Too expensive?
ask your retailer. I don't know. Might see if they're getting any of them in. Secret Warriors number 1 is coming out. I'm not 100% sure who's in that group.
I think it's just all Inhumans. I know.
Never mind. Team X-Men. Team X-Men.
Well, I might pick it up just because I read Champions and I liked Miss
Yeah.
Marvel in that, so that honestly would be the only reason why.
Weapon X number 3 and X-Men Blue number 3.
Jesus, I didn't even know issue 2 came out.
Which one of Weapon X?
No, of Blue.
Yeah, Blue came out like 2 weeks ago. Weapon X, X-Men Blue, and X-Men Gold are all coming out apparently twice a month now.
Okay.
I didn't know that, and that really hurts my pocketbook.
Yep.
But those are 3 series right now. Or yeah, Blue, Gold, and Weapon X are all, in my opinion, some of the best X-Men that we've had in years. I mean, and plus Generation X is getting ready to come out. And knowing my luck, like that being my favorite book, they'll only put it out once a month. Zombies Assemble? I'm assuming that's Marvel Zombies.
I think that is. May I see that list real quick? So.
Zombies Assemble number 1 of 4.
Yep, that is still Marvel.
Yep. Let's see if I can pull up like a preview of this. I'm actually curious to know what Marvel Zombies
I think I may have
Assemble.
seen that in like the solicitations months ago, but I can't remember.
The original manga is adapted into English for the first time. Let's see, the Avengers have assembled to save Earth from destruction, but they've never had to face a threat as gruesome and undead as this one. They have to fight to contain an outbreak of horrifying zombies. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm kinda interested in that. Just because I've been reading Marvel Zombies over the last few weeks.
Okay.
And Valiant, about the only thing big coming from them is the Faith Volume 3 trade paperback.
Okay. I guess it's like they're like bi-week or whatever.
Yeah, I mean there's a handful of stuff coming out from Valiant, but it's like not anything that's
Really of note.
yeah. Eternal Warrior Awakening number 1 is coming out,
Ooh.
and there's like 6 different covers on it,
Eek.
and that's all that's coming out from Valiant. Seriously, like like that's no exaggeration. That book and the Faith trade paperback.
Okay.
That's it. And that is all for May 10th. We're going to have to sit down and look at those books. It's actually day after tomorrow. Going to have to come in probably Friday and look at everything. So, anyway, anything you're really excited about coming out soon?
Really just the button, and I really love Superman, so I'm really looking forward to Action Comics. So,
Okay. Anything? What's going on with Superman right now?
Kind of spoilers because I can't say what happened in last week's Superman 22.
Okay.
But really, it's just that something's not really right with his son Jonathan. He should be, as what Batman says in it, is
Well, back up just a second. Superman has a son.
in Convergence. The Superman tie-in, Lois was pregnant, and she gives birth to their son, Jonathan Samuel Kent.
Okay.
The only thing important in that whole Convergence mess.
Because I read a little bit of Convergence, and that was like one of those things that I read the first couple issues of, and then got out of it.
Yeah.
So, wow, like I'll say the last Superman I read was doomed. I read like the first half of that storyline.
So 3-ish years ago.
Roundabout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Superman's real big.
Yep.
I'm really looking forward to Generation X here in just over a week. That's like my countdown. Like I'm gonna be up here the day. I'm actually off that day. I'm off work.
Are you now?
I'll be here when the doors open, and I may even live stream me reading it. So
You gonna read it out loud?
no, I don't.
Lonnie reads.
No. So anyway, I just wanted to sit down, give Hank a forum. We could sit down, get to know him a little bit. What's your favorite comic?
Of all time.
Let's do your favorite current title, and then you pick a storyline favorite of all time.
Favorite title right now?
Okay.
That is an easy one. That is Superman.
Okay.
Because that is Superman being a hero after the mess that was the New 52.
Okay.
And favorite storyline, that would have to be. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was Brian K. Vaughan's last arc that he did of his Runaways work.
Okay, but
Yeah.
Runaways. It
Yeah.
was the that was I think that was like kind of tossing around making a movie or a TV show.
They're
out of
making a TV show on Hulu,
that. Okay.
which probably works better for them because trying to adapt that into a movie would be a mess.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
Did you ever read Battle of the Atom for X-Men?
wanted to.
There was I don't know who it was, but there was
Molly.
one of the women from Runaways was a future X-Men.
Yep, they've been teasing that since like 2007, 8, something weird
Oh, so
like
that
that.
was something they were talking about in the title about her becoming an X-Man one day.
Yep, because both her parents are mutants. I pray to God they
Okay.
keep that in the show. And she was, for some reason, like one of the only mutants that was left after the House of M.
Oh, of course.
What funny thing? She punched Wolverine out of a church in New York, and he says, out of 99 mutants left on this planet, and she's one of them.
Wow. It was like I didn't I hated
She's that powerful as a mutant.
whenever they did like M Day. I was so mad because they depowered Jubilee,
Yeah.
and I was like, really? And they were like, we're just gonna shuffle her onto the
Yeah.
back, and then they made her a vampire, and I guess that made up for it. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, Runaways. That's actually like a very unorthodox answer. Like I've actually never heard anybody say Runaways.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to check it out, and I'm sure it's like on the Marvel app. So
Oh yeah, it's
No.
easily one of the easiest.
no, there was like a volume 1 and a volume 2, and there were
True.
like 3 different volumes of Runaways, right?
Yeah, because it was canceled 3 times. The first volume solely written by Brian K. Vaughan.
Okay.
Then the second one, I think they split it up between the different art writers.
Yeah.
I know Joss Whedon wrote the arc right after Brian K. Vaughan left. It's not good. There's, and then I think they rebooted it for a 3rd time. Then it ended on like just a massive cliffhanger.
Lovely.
Yeah, but it was resolved in other books throughout the Marvel universe.
Okay, so basically the Brian K. Vaughan issues are
Yes.
the top, well worth reading.
Yes.
I may have to sit down and read volume 1 of that anyway, just to
Oh, yeah.
click through it as I'm bored. All right. Well, I'm Lonnie with Untitled Nerd Network, here with Hank, local to Chattanooga.
Yep.
We are here at Infinity Flux Cards, Comics, and Games. We're sponsored by them, and we will be back. I see us probably doing something next week and going over some of the books, and then having a massive Generation X themed celebration. So, anyway, appreciate you coming on, man. And we'll have you again soon.
All right.
I'm Lonnie with Untitled Nerd Network, and thanks for watching.